Hi everyone, I'm Ibrahim Ahmed. I'm back to discuss with us today the concept of programming language. Uh, just like human beings speak multiple languages, there are also many languages that we can speak to computers when trying to instruct them to execute certain tasks for us. I will not claim we have as many languages as human beings speak in the computer world. They are not as much as that, but we have quite a number of them, and they come across in many generations. It depends on which one you are comfortable with. But what I always tell people is learn one language very well, and then you can transition to other languages with ease. It's the same way it is in real world. If we're good at one language, transitioning to other languages won't be difficult. Yes, you may struggle with the rules of grammar, tenses here and there, but adapting to the new language environment, once you are immersed in that environment where they speak that language, won't be pretty difficult for you. So when we're in the computer programming environment, we think about languages like the ones I have listed on the screen. Excuse me. Java, R, Swift, and all of the languages that you have here. They are not arranged in any order of importance. I just randomly typed them in there. They all come in different generations. They are all used for different things, and there is a varying degree of ease of use to all of them. But the message I want you to get from this slide is simple. Different languages are most suited for different tasks. Some are multi-purpose languages. Some are more suited for carrying out some tasks more than others. For instance, there are there are programming languages that are used strictly for designing mobile applications. There are some that perform very well on the desktop. There are some that perform very well on the web. There are some that are mostly used for games programming. So you need to know what area excites you, and then you pick the appropriate language in that space, and then master it as much as you can. I started learning programming with Pascal. From there, I moved on to C, then I moved to C++, then I moved to Visual Basic, which most people don't write again. Then I moved into C Sharp, I do JavaScript, I do PHP, and I do Python. But you don't have to go round and round like this. It's my own career that pushed me towards all of this. I do R as well, but you don't have to be a master of all of this. But if your career requires you to transition into roles where you need to use certain languages very often, yes, you can do it, and it's not something that is impossible. So, why Python of all the languages that are out there? The previous list was not exhaustive. So, why Python? There are a number of reasons why people will want to learn Python in 2024 and beyond. Some of them I have captured on the screen here. The first one is the ease of learning. If you want to learn programming languages and you are looking for the cheapest one, I guess Python is going to be one of the cheapest languages and the easiest languages to learn. Versatility is also an advantage for it. It can be used to design all sorts of programs out there. You can do scientific programming with it, you can do commercial programming with it, you can develop games with Python, you can do animation with Python, you can do web based applications with Python, and it's portable. When we talk about portability, we are not talking about the ease of carrying it on some storage media. That's part of it. But if you develop a program on a Windows based system, you can easily take it to a Mac based system, and your program will still work without you needing to make any alteration or modification to it. That's what portability speaks to. In terms of the performance of the application that you're producing or the program you are producing, Python programs are always top performance in nature. And then we are attracted to Python also because of the multiple integrated development environment that are open to us. If you are writing in some old languages, they had their own integrated development environment where programmers will code will show us a little bit down the line in the lecture series what an IDE looks like. But just to whet your appetite ahead of then, if you install Python in its default form, the environment where you are likely going to be coding is not as interactive as you would like. So many programmers, many communities, companies have come up with what we call IDEs, integrated development environment, where you can write programs in more interactive manner so that you will enjoy writing codes in Python. So there are many IDEs that are available out there for Python. Some people use Visual Studio Code, some people use PyCharm, some people use some other IDEs that are out there. It depends on what suits you, and you are also in a position to go the route of Jupyter Lab. It's also a browser-based system that allows you to write Python code. If you do not want to write code that you'll be keeping on your laptop, you are in the position to use Google Colab. It's going to be online and your files will be saved in your Google Drive. It works very well. It's a cloud based platform for writing Python code, and the execution is going to be done on cloud servers of Google. So that's another attraction for us to want to use Python. In terms of testing framework, in the previous lecture, I talked about you testing your program before you roll it out. That I met multiple testing frameworks out there. There is a slide down, the road where I highlight some of the testing frameworks that are available for Python programs. Many other languages don't have as many as Python has. In terms of your ability to develop AI-driven projects, Python is undoubtedly number one in the world when it comes to that. There are many libraries that are available. There is a slide that talks about that. Same thing with handling big data. If you want to go into writing codes that can process stock market positions of different companies, you don't want to go on to Yahoo Finance all the time and be reading data there. You can write programs within Python that will integrate with Yahoo Finance, and you issue the ticker within the Python code, and it will give you all of the necessary information that you need about the stock that you may be interested in. Python gives us this kind of an advantage. And of course, I said earlier, you can write programs that will work as games, even though Python is not seen as a programming language for developing commercial programs that run as games. But you can develop some interesting games, as a hobbyist. Your kids can start playing around with it. It's an avenue to open their minds up, and then later they can go the route of Unity and other programming languages that are most suited, for developing games. But Python also has a strong footprint in that space. So in terms of testing frameworks, these are some of the notable testing frameworks that are available that you can look through, pick the one that you are most comfortable with, and then you use in testing your code. When it comes to handling AI driven tasks, Python has quite a number of libraries that are available out there. Most people go with the scikit-learn. It's like the most basic. When you are dealing with computer vision, you go the route of OpenCV. Then people who do deep learning, advanced, ML, DL, they go the route of Keras, PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Theano. These are options that you have out there that Python gives you the opportunity of tapping into. When you talk about handling big data, data that runs into several gigabyte or sometimes terabyte in size, there are standard libraries that allow you to handle them in a very seamless manner. The data doesn't have to sit on your own laptop before you can process it. They may be located remotely. Pandas library is there for you to connect to a variety of data sources, and you can bring them into your data frame and maneuver them. NumPy is another good library. Matplotlib and Seaborn, we use them for visualization. There are all sorts of beautiful charts that you can design with these two other libraries. Now, so this is programming languages for you. Python is one of them. It's an amazing one that we can use, and you have seen why we need it. So I expect you to open your mind up Learn Python and you will not regret learning it. Thank you very much for listening to me. Give me your comments, like my videos, subscribe to the channel. It will encourage me to produce more. Thank you very much. Bye. I see you later.